Okay, hello everybody. It is Monday. It is about 8:30, honestly, because I had some issues getting things going tonight. But yeah, welcome. Here's my stream where I play a wide variety of games, generally going down my entire Steam library in alphabetical passes. I'm between those at the moment, and I have a bit of a tradition in the space between seasons of at some point taking some old console that I had growing up and just waxing nostalgic about the games I had for it. I have previously done this, hello, for the NES, for the SNES, for the Sega Master System. The next logical moves would be the Genesis, but I didn't really have one. I picked one up very late, basically for just the Phantasy Star games, and Alex Kidd, no, not Alex Kidd, Wonder Boy 5. And then I think the the Genesis Shadowrun game, and possibly Flashback. So yeah, or Out of This World, or both. But that's about it. It's a pretty slim selection, and most of that is in every single retro Genesis collection everywhere. So you've probably seen them. The other option would be to get into my Game Boy collection, which, if I did just the original Game Boy, again, it's like Zelda, Pokemon, Super Mario Land 2, maybe a Kirby game. That's about it. Probably Tetris. And then if I expanded that to the GBA, we'd be here all month. A lot of interesting stuff in that system. And if I went past that to, the PlayStation, N64, games have long intros, and I don't know the state of N64 emulation. Is it still bad? So those would be kind of a pain. So instead, we're going back a bit to the system that I had before I had an NES. A little thing that I called the Atari. Now, when most people talk about, the Atari, they're talking about the Atari Video Computer System, or the Atari 2600 as it's also known. A fairly beloved system that, was around for a good while in the, late 70s, early 80s, roughly. Oh, that's a good comparison picture. It had the square joystick with the single button, and the games that were barely games. The infamous version of Pac-Man where the dots were lines and the maze was totally the wrong shape and there's only 3 ghosts and everything is flickering constantly. I didn't have one of those. No. What I had was the Atari 5200, the one nobody talks about, possibly for good reason. Meow. So, just to give you an idea what we're talking about here, can I pull this up a bit? Yes, I can. Yeah, this is someone else's comparison, but also let me double check that I did, before I share my screen, properly go live with this. I am streaming here. I have plugged this there. Okay. So yeah, this is not highest resolution of photos, but you can see here in the background, this is, the Atari system everybody's familiar with, the wood panel box with its blocky controller. N64 controllers for scale, I guess, in frame. And then there's this thing, this giant box, mostly hollow. This back panel actually just opened up and it was placed with controllers. The controllers were the size of a phone. You can see one here. I'm going to get a better one in a second. Just giant things. And I don't even mean a phone today. I mean a phone in the 80s is the size of these things. I don't know why the case for this thing was so huge, but I distinctly recall this like silver reflective stickers on the cartridges. Here's a better look at the whole thing. So what you see here, the controller, which again, just massive thing, and like vertical in its orientation too. Like you'd think this would be the left side. This is the top. You got your giant joystick. You got start, pause, and reset. You can see my mouse here. Yes, yes. You've got a keypad, just like numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. A couple other buttons I don't remember the names of. I think it was like just what was on the phone at the time. So like pound sign and asterisk or something like that. The few games that did use that had little overlays you just kind of like slot in there. Like here's one for Star Raiders apparently. Those are for games that they need more than just one button, honestly. But the main things that most games use is on either side of the controller were these two orange buttons. I believe like the top one was mapped to something, the bottom was something else, and then the other side was just a spare copy of those, I guess, so that you could hit them with whatever thumb or finger combination you felt more comfortable with. So that was a nice touch. You definitely had to like hold this from below because it was a heavy thing and use the joystick. Rather famously, this was basically the worst joystick ever made. It has these rubber rings here holding it in, which is very like under the best of times kind of weird and spongy, and it would drift around. Also, this was an analog stick, and it was less that you would tilt it and more that you would slide the whole thing around with this resistance band. So that was weird under the best of circumstances. And then the contacts in it were just infamously flaky, along with the ones for the side buttons. So this would drop inputs constantly. It would decenter, or it would like have a giant dead zone. It was basically unusable, and that's what I grew up with. And what's funny is when I was setting up an emulator to go through all this stuff tonight, it recognizes my 360 controller and lets me use that joystick. But for some reason, there's like a couple seconds of input lag, and it's really sketchy about reading inputs properly. And that was way too accurate and experienced to actually growing up with this system for me. So I'm going to be using keyboard controls for these. See any other like background information? I'm sure all these games had manuals at some point. I don't remember ever seeing them. I think my mother was in the habit of like throwing those out with the packaging at the time. So I was just kind of working them out on the fly. None of them were terribly complicated games. And yeah, I just had this when I was very, very, very young. I don't know if the NES wasn't out yet or if we were just like too poor or clueless to have one. But yeah, this is what I had. And just like a TV set up in kind of a walk-in closet in the home we had at the time with like a little chair. And I would just be like kind of like locked in there for, a couple hours just playing these old games. That was the thing. Anyway. Pure history lesson over. I don't know how long the stream is going to be. I do have the entire library for the system right here, but it's a pretty small library, and they don't really hold one's attention too much. Let's see, what's a good starting point for this little journey? I mean, classic for a reason. Game capture. Specific window. This weird thing. Full screen, if you please. No. Not now. acknowledge that? Oh, there it is. Okay. I was getting worried for a second. So, our first game. Good old Pac-Man. Like I said, the Atari Pac-Man everybody else is familiar with, it was just, like, barely deserving of the name. It was such a weirdly compromised port. This is still by no means arcade perfect, but you know, it's recognizably Pac-Man at least. Focus. There we go. Okay, it looks a little off, but it looks like Pac-Man. The ghosts don't have eyes. Things are a little misshapen. But, you know, for a home version of this at the time, oops. It's something. I have not played any of these in quite a while either, so expecting to suck. And I feel like these days, the only people who still play Pac-Man are... Oh, really? People who, like, go for perfect games, or people who are playing, like, newer things, like the whole Champion Edition thing, which is honestly really good. And then there's that new Metroid thing, Shadow Labyrinth or whatever it's called. That's, you know, that was input lag or something. I was definitely hitting left. Let's try it again. So what I think with the system is, like I said, there are on the controller buttons for start, pause, and reset. You would think start and pause are redundant, but start in this case is not like select the option to start playing the game. It is like start the program that is on this cartridge. So if I were to right now just hit start, this happens. We're just gonna instantly reboot like that. Reset would put you on like the options screen that you start on. Pause is, you know, pause. That woo is really annoying, isn't it? Yeah, the sound effects aren't quite right here. This is also from a time when, like, when there was a port of a game, it wouldn't be that you, like, get the developers of that game to, you know, release a version of it on the platform. Is that, like, Atari, in this case, would, like, get the rights from Namco to make a version of Pac-Man. And, like, they wouldn't get any sort of source code or art assets or anything. They would just get access to, like, a Pac-Man arcade cabinet and maybe some, like, design notes and just have to rebuild it from scratch. I'm curious if they got the, like, ghost behavior right for this. I am, frankly, not enough of a Pac-Man expert that I'd be able to tell. Maybe someone else out there can? Okay, at least did that once. Well, come here. Oh, getting the... Okay, why are you faster than I am on the first level? That's wrong. I guess I have a little, like, hurry up here, but it still seems off. Okay, I at least finished a screen. Meow. Yeah. But yeah, so, you know, it's a version of Pac-Man. It's a little irritating to listen to. My cat's not helping. You wanna come up here with me? What do you want? And of course, when I was very young, I didn't play this game for points. I just played this game to, like, clear screens. So I would, like, not bother hunting down the ghosts when they're blue. I would just, you know, allow them to vacate the area and be about my day. And now it's like unheard of to play this game if you're not like, you know, get every fruit, get all 4 ghosts with every power pellet, don't ever die. Play until the game crashes. And again, it's like it's a compromised port, but it's not a super compromised port. Like this is basically Pac-Man. I haven't played this a bit. At least I got to a cutscene. There's what, like 3 of these between levels? Just little very cartoony exchanges like that. I'm just going to take a game over at this point. Won't be long. I swear, you really have to be like holding the direction before you get to the intersection in this. There's no turning at the last second. You gotta like pre-turn. It's also, you know, of course, stretched horizontally because there's been like one home port of Pac-Man, or at least until recent years, when that wasn't the case. The NES version like had the scores on the side, so you could get the proper vertical orientation. Indeed. Anyway, what else we got here? I mean, I guess the logical next one would be Ms. Pac-Man, which I definitely had. Are you in this grab bag of ROMs that I picked up? I am not seeing it. Weird. The actual proper arcade version of Ms. Pac-Man, like, far superior to the original Pac-Man in a number of ways. One of the ghosts is trans. That's cool. Layouts, levels change up between levels. The AI is a little bit tougher at times, but it's basically the same experience, so it's not the end of the world. I don't seem to have it here. Is there anything else absent that's like really a standout? Not that I'm seeing. Oh, here's a game that I have a very personal connection to. So that was slightly inaccurate with this. The actual like startup when you first turn on the system is here's this like giant glowing Atari logo for a couple seconds before the game loads. But anyway, this is Missile Command. Like most of these, it's easier to just show it off than explain it. Oops. Oh. This is not playing well with the... Okay, this is... Hang on, this is unplayable in this state. Let me see. Will you play nice with my controller? I doubt it. But we'll try it. Actually, this is fine. Okay, other games were like not working with this joystick at all. Which again, was kind of authentic to the original experience. But yeah. You got a limited number of missiles here to fire at these lines as they come down towards your cities. This is again compromised for port. Oh yeah, there are a lot of flashes. Good call. Thank you. I mean, it's not bright white or red, so it might not be a hazard for people with epilepsy. But like, oh, he died. It's definitely like a full screen thing with the game over screen. Anyway. Yeah, this is, again, not quite accurate to the arcade, because the arcade you have, like, 3 bases around the screen, and there's some strategy which one you're firing from. it's pretty close to the original experience. It's fairly responsive. Anyway, yeah, I played this a lot growing up. And many years later, the company that now owns all this stuff, which I guess, well, is still Atari, it is a version of Atari at least, decided to do a whole thing making board game adaptations of some of these old games that they had the rights to. And I got tapped for one of those. So there is the board game adaptation of Missile Command, and hi, I'm the lead designer of that. I'm not the only designer on that. There was somebody else who was coordinating things and had some, like, notes and just arbitrary changes to fiddle with it. Which is good because I could not for the life of me find, like, playtesters when I was designing it, and it was very much designed as a, like, head-to-head experience, so the final version of the game isn't quite my original vision as it was, but people seem to like it. I think you can still get copies of it. I think I technically still get royalties if you do, if they, like, you know, didn't completely lose my contact information, because I was, like, I am doing terribly now. In the middle of getting my name changed. I guess I don't have to actually destroy everything, but just the ones that are going for the remaining 2 cities I have here in my, you know, actual base. But yeah, so there's a board game version of Missile Command. I designed it. It's very much a, like, you know, bluffing, I'm not going to attack you, less turnover cards, oh, I attack you sort of thing. I'm just shamelessly plugging it now. There's a whole thing where we lose a city, flip over a card, and you get some kind of bonus for, like, you know, the response people have to the horror of this destruction. Either you get more money to spend, or, like, free missiles to use, of some special kind. Things like that. This is not good. This is... Yeah, avert your eyes, potentially, at the end of this level, because I have lost. Yeah, oh yeah, that is super flashy. Thank you for that reminder. But yeah, so I did the board game. This is the 200 board. It's you know, it's not bad. It's basically Missile Command. Just can you predict the paths of these and deal with the cursor speed? Pretty simple, good times about nuclear annihilation. And I am not using this controller again unless I, like, need to, because it is not playing well with, like, a lot of these. So let's see, what else was big on this for me as a child? I'm just kind of skipping around at the moment. I was always a bit of a fan of this one. Make sure that I'm not using that controller anymore. Okay. So this is Defender. Defender had a lot of style for a game of its era, and also may have some flashing screens. That maybe Hazard's Night in general. Sorry about that. So you are on this... Oh, okay, that is pulling me down for some reason. I can adjust, but that's annoying. So these little green things are trying to abduct people. You have this really cool laser. It's just this, like, weird, like, glitchy looking line across the screen. Very good sound. You got this little, very, like, this was designed for a vector-based system sort of terrain. It wasn't, to my knowledge. It just, like, has that vibe. But yeah, these little green people will try to abduct the little humans there. When they get to the top of the screen, they eat them and become, like, these upgraded versions. Very good death, too. In addition to having your super cool laser, you have bombs that will take off in the screen. There's a map at the top of the whole, like, looping terrain bit, and the white highlight of the... oh, well, I just shot somebody, but, you know. Friendly fire happens. Okay, that last one was one of the I had eaten someone once. This is a loud game, too. Sorry about that. Just inherently. Oh no. That's awful. There we go. So this goes along until, you know, either you run out of lives or you run out of humans, because, like, there's a finite supply of them. There's not returning between levels. And once that happens, the ground just, like, explodes, and then you're just, like, floating around in space, and things are, like, upgraded and harder, and it's just kind of, you know, a miserable time for everyone. But yeah, let me play another round of that and just show off a couple things. So let me just let one get captured and show off what happens there. Because the abductors are fairly passive. They shoot a little, but, like... Okay, those ones got some. So then turn to these little, like, red heart ones that just come right for you, shooting constantly. And yeah, then if... Time for war crimes. If all the humans die, there's a whole thing. And yeah, I think I've gotten all the money I'm getting out of the board game version of Missile Command, but, like, it's still out there. Like, you know, it's pretty received. I'm kind of proud of it. I never really checked in on, like, the rest of that project and the other resulting games, come to think of it. I should sometime. I'm just kind of curious what other people did. Okay, yeah, so if all the humans die, either from them being captured or from me killing them all, then, like, suddenly, okay, all fully upgraded aliens, you're just in space. Enjoy life in hell. And the planet doesn't come back after that. It's just like, no, you lost humanity. You're just in space fighting the upgraded ones until you die. Which, I don't know, that's kind of a neat aspect of it. But yeah, I like Defender. It's got a level of style that you didn't really see in games of its vintage. Is there an attract mode if I just leave this alone long enough? Oh, there is. Why are those mapped to the number row and not the number pad? That's weird. So yeah, let's just let that run for a while while I talk. But yeah, like the laser just being this dash across the screen, it's like flashing different colors and making a horrible sound is just like really cool. The idea of the like level loop with the little mini map was kind of ahead of its time. It's also very, like, Fantasy Zone to me. They did similar. The complicated objective of, like, you know, trying to avoid them getting captured like that. It's neat. Ship design is very, like, precursor to what you get in proper shoot-'em-ups. So again, like, people maligned this system, I think a little unfairly. It had fairly decent ports of the arcade games at the time. Let me find one that's less horrible on the ears. Oh, yeah, good old Centipede. This one is unplayable with the controller on here. But yeah, so like again, none of these look quite right or play quite right, but they're close enough for jazz, is a general rule. Centipede in particular is weird here because, well, because I don't have a like joystick that works for it. Didn't at the time either, if I'm honest. Because this is a game that originally used a trackball, and the fact that this system had a analog joystick, if the joystick wasn't just a piece of garbage, would handle that very nicely. And you can tell from how like jerky my motion is with the keyboard controls, so that's kind of expecting to be able to like, you know, move slower. Yeah, getting anywhere with this control scheme is kind of a big ask, but I like Centipede a lot. It's one of the, like old-time arcade classics. I think holds up pretty well. You have a pretty wide range of motion. Does this also have a demo? Also, wait, is somebody knocking my door? 1 second. It's my neighbor. Having company over who are making way too much noise. But yeah, so as I was saying, Centipede. You got this, range of motion where you can go up about that far on screen, which is a big change over the likes of Space Invaders. It also means you get to this point towards the end where, where they hit the bottom row and then bounce back up, and we'll just kind of hang out near the bottom. But you can dodge them at that point. Just by carefully weaving through. There's no level transition time at all. It's just palette swaps, new Centipede appears, go. And I appreciate that immediacy. But yeah, for those unfamiliar, you shoot a segment of a second as a centipede, it turns into a mushroom. The remaining centipede or centipedes will bounce off those mushrooms. If you shoot them several times, you can destroy them. So if you have more fine control than I have here, you can actually intentionally kill them to make a little corridor that they'll get caught in and just be facing straight down, and then just shoot up right through that, which will kill them all, but also it'll leave more mushrooms than that, so it's only a trick that works once. But yeah, you have a lot of control over your environment in Centipede, which is kind of neat. Its soundscape is less annoying than a lot of games at the time. The idea of a game having music wasn't really a thing yet. There'd be a little jingle when you start a game. Usually just, here's a piece of classical music we just managed to program. And then just tons of sound effects, as you can see here. But yeah, trackball game. Again, fairly faithful port. And on the original hardware, to the degree that the joystick was usable, it did, emulate the trackball well enough by letting you move slightly, as I recall. This emulator of that is not working, unfortunately, but yeah, not a bad game. Played that a lot. My mother was also really into Centipede for a while. I'm told it is a game that was very popular among women in particular for whatever reason. What else do we have? Oh yes, here we go. Here's a port of something with extra features added. And some way of selecting them. I don't remember what that way was. Oh, okay, this one is another, hey, will you use this joystick properly? Because if not, we have a problem. Let's see. Ah, that's workable. But everybody knows Breakout, I think. Although, again, like, I should get a better paddle speed than this. And some of the, like, block interactions feel a little questionable to me. Like that one that just got, like, you know, somehow got through the corner. But this, I remember, had a few modes to it, if I can remember how to change them. And kind of a, like, when you get a rhythm going, nice little sort of a tune it would play. From each block making a different sound. And the walls having a little bit of variety to them. I'm trying to remember though, like, I think there was some way to switch modes. Somehow or other. Which I can't work out with how this is set up. Okay. But I swear this had like a couple different modes. There's one where you have like double paddles stacked up on top of each other. A couple different like configurations of the wall. One had little pockets in with like spare balls just kind of bouncing around that you could bust out and just have a multi-ball thing. Which, you know, for a version of Breakout in 1980 whatever, wasn't bad. It was no Arkanoid, that's for sure, but, you know. Decent version of it, as things go. I've played some bad Breakout clones my day. And it's like, it's the little things, but like the varied up ball sounds kind of, if you're playing well. Feel slightly musical. I'm telling you, there's some way to do this though. Let me check what button mapping is here. Oh, well. Minus and equals. Okay, I almost might have been it. Well, this is no longer on screen, I see. Let me fix that too. Are we there? No? Wonder why not. That did it. Oddly enough. Okay. Set to full screen it for a second. So let's see. Aha! Yes. Okay, so this supports up to 4 players. And we have regular Breakout, progressive, where it's just like dropping down the walls. Double and cavity. I'm going to go through these because I have a short library to get through, so hey. Let's see what the deal is with progressive. turn my controller back on. So I think the deal here is, excuse me, that this will, over time, slowly drop the walls down and add more at the top, infinitely. Although, again, I feel like on the original hardware, and it's kind of like emulating the cellophane thing on the original Breakout, where, you know, this color is in this part of the screen. There's a lot of old arcade games, very old, it just had black and white monitors, and then, like, you know, let's just tape colored cellophane over the screen in bands so that, you know, when enemies or blocks or whatever are in this region, they're this color. And these are going to just like slowly drop down forever, and more will come from the top, is basically the idea. And if I can... There we go. At least I got a thing. I have broken out at least the one time. It seems like an especially fair version of the game, but you know, it's a thing. At the time, you know, options were limited. And I think there was also like a dedicated trackball controller for the system for like playing stuff like this at proper speeds. Then yeah, the other modes here. Okay, I think double was just you have like a double paddle thing. Oh, and also two balls. Okay. It's, you know, sure. A little gimmicky. I'm terrible at this. But again, like, I can't move fast enough to actually keep up the way this emulator is set up, which is annoying. And then finally there was this one, which I liked as a small child because it's got little googly eyes up there. And you also have the double paddle here for some reason. I guess as a concession to, like, you can't possibly keep track of multiple balls. Like, so let's just give you a second chance at hitting them. What little good it does you. Again, like, I can't get over there in time with this setup. Yeah, if you had the actual, like, you know, rotary dial controller or whatever, because, like, Pong was still big enough in people's memories at the time that, like, people would have rotary dial controllers for their systems. Okay, I have broken out one of the balls. Holy cow, that gets fast when they hit the higher ones. Yeah. Anyway, breakout. Not a lot to say about a lot of these, because these are very, like, single room arcade experiences for the most part. Oh, let's see. What else do we have here? I remember playing entirely too much of. One of the more sophisticated ones of the system, actually. And hopefully this handles just the keyboard controls nicely. So this is River Raid from 1982. It is one of the earliest, like, you know, proper upward scrolling shooter things. If I recall, made by a trans woman, as many early games were. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. So, okay, part of the deal here is, you know, shoot all the things. Another part of the deal is you are constantly losing fuel and need to hit these to top off. You can also control your speed. Which is very important to actually getting anywhere. There's a proper like level progression to it. Oh, this keyboard control setup didn't quite save the 0 point, so that's like my default now. If we don't hold down anyway. But yeah, just get fuel, blow stuff up. I don't know if you're penalized for hitting the balloons. You don't seem like military craft to me, per se. And if you blow up the bridge before the tank reaches, the tank will start shooting at you while it goes past, and that's kind of a pain. But yeah, there's some variety of level layouts. They get more complicated and narrow and twisty later on. The speed control, you know, you can adjust for things, movement patterns, and get your shots off, but then you're burning more fuel for the same less distance, and that's a whole thing. There's also just gunning it, and you know, you save on fuel a lot, but like it's very hard to place at that speed. Like, you know, for the time, decent game. Again, like 82, 83, like it looks nice enough. Things resemble what they are. We're not doing the like abstract just like dashes and cubes thing that a lot of 2600 games did. And yet, like, nobody has any love for this system, including me, if I'm honest. I was very happy getting NES and, like, good games. But, you know, at the time that I had it, I got a lot of entertainment out of this thing. But, yeah, so this is the other thing, too, is, like I said, people, like, don't even acknowledge that the system was a thing. When you have people doing the whole, like, console generations thing, they say, like, the first generation was, like, just the Magnavox Odyssey, basically. And then the second generation was, like, the Atari 2600 and also the 5200. And it's like, that's not fair. This is significantly more sophisticated than the game that, like, you know, here, have an adventure game, you play as this square. You're looking for these line segments? This has, like, you know, not the highest resolution, certainly, but, like, you know, an effort is made. I clearly have a plane. Yeah, there's the tank shooting into the gap thing. I think it's funny to, like, Activision just put their logo down there, just like right in the UI. And you can shoot your fuel too if you are playing carelessly and just like wheeling on that button. Nice little explosions. And this has, like, you know, actual level progression. Possibly an ending. I'd be kind of surprised if it had one, but possible. Yeah, like I reject the whole console generation notation because like this is not the same as that. Like, split those up. Come on now. It all feels very arbitrary as a result. Let's see, what else do we have? I'm just kind of skipping around a little bit here. Looking for ones in particular that I have a story to go with of some kind. Oh, here's a couple that came up recently when I was researching my like latest game design sidetrack. There you are. Good old Quicks, one of those. Hopefully this controls okay like this. Yeah, it seems to. Oh, this is another game that has a soundscape to it. But yeah, this is the one where, like, the deal is you're just kind of drawing lines and closing boxes, not wanting to touch things. The main enemy is this, like, screensaver-looking mofo over here. Just dancing around. You can go at 2 speeds. I'm going slow because you get double points that way, and why would you not want double points? You can switch midline to the less point speed. They can do things like that. Get your big bonus for getting a huge front of the screen at once. Yeah, Rare loved things like this back in the day. And it's kind of a fascinating look for an enemy that makes this weird buzzing sound. Nope, got hit by one of the little things on the side. But I've always found it's kind of like flawed as a design because... And there's really just the one strategy of like trying to box it in quick with little short hops like this and then get the big huge clear. And then later there's 2 Quickses and oh, that was just me stopping for too long apparently. Yeah, because you get like a little fuse for your thing if you stop in the middle, which I can show off if I can get a decent... Yeah, like that. Yeah, I was kind of counting on you being on the left. Oh. But yeah, once there's 2 of them, there's like a score multiplier bonus for splitting them up instead of getting your main completion one, which requires you to not split them up, frankly. And just, I don't know. Now I'm just splitting it until the max bonus thing, and then just going back to playing the game normally. And it's a thing. But yeah, like fascinating, just visuals in this game. Also, again, it does have sequels, and they're like named sequels, so nobody ever knows them. But it is a thing. Another one of these games where it's like the sounds just makes it kind of annoying. I don't want to keep listening to it, so I'm moving on. But yeah, I do want to do something similar for this, for my like puzzle piratey space thing, building like shields up by doing this sort of gameplay of just drawing it in. Because like this is one of those games where it's like this game kind of sucks, but it's got a lot of interesting ideas to it. There's also famously like porn versions of Quicks where like there's a picture of a like scantily clad girl that you uncover by drawing your little line chunks, which at least gives you incentive to be in the middle where it's the most dangerous. It's something. I don't know. I feel like the base game is lacking something important. And the other one I was kind of thinking of ripping off for that collection idea is this one. Good old Pengo. Let's play on baby mode. I am sucking at all these today. Uh-oh. Okay, are we wanting the joystick again? Okay, that's on. I think that's on. Yeah. Okay, but it's not recognizing it properly. Weird. What if I turn off throttle controls? There we go. Okay, how does this go then? Right, so we got these, whatever they are, running around doing their thing. We can push blocks around. These little diamond ones. Oh, this is very input laggy. This emulator is not liking this game in general. But yeah, if I can get those lined up, all touching each other in a line, there's a big bonus. Meanwhile, I can shove these to... okay, if you will, like... face the right direction, thank you. You can also shake the wall, which will stun them if they're near it. Yeah, this is unplayable in this state. I might go back to the keyboard and see if I should just give that more of a chance. Yeah, I think I will. Okay. Switching that back. Setting that down. Reset. Start. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, why are you just, yeah. You notice it's not the same exact maze configuration as the first time. There's some randomization there. But, yeah, I can see learning novice from this. It's an interesting term to use. So here, okay, this is starting to behave control-wise. I played the hell out of this. It's one of the few games on system that had, you know, music. Not necessarily, like, you know, the most pleasant music, but it's something. But yeah, in the upper right, you can see how many of these little orange, whatever they are, there are to deal with on this level. Mainly, you deal with them thusly. But also, they are in eggs that are flashing at the start of the level, and yeah, they just get like slimified if you line those up for a few seconds. So you get less points for it, but I could just like go out of my way to just crush their unborn children into walls. Actually, do you get less points for it, or do you get more? And then, yeah, this is your emergency move. You can stun them briefly if you just shake a wall they're touching. This game, I think, actually holds up pretty well. I think this was originally a Sega game. Although, again, like, internally developed for this version at Atari. And when you get down to 1, they have this weird little thing they do where they... yeah. They go into, like, Berserker mode? Or something? And, oh, escape mode. Okay, that's what it is. Yes. Well, that's an easy bonus. Just gotta clear this out. Huge pile of points for that, and then I can just kind of have those ones crushed and stunned and all that. Oh, as a hatch. I'm fairly certain you're not allowed to, like, break up the bonus blocks and hit them again. You know, let me double check that. So really, except where it's even, like, possible to check. Ah. Yeah, no. Remember a lot of this defensive sort of play of just let me... hide my little bunker here, stun you. Since they can't destroy the bonus blocks and all. I'm trying to like see what I get score wise for taking out the standard way versus the well, okay, that's a huge bonus from getting double, yeah. Oh no, it is slightly more to do it that way. That's awful. Oh, Chris's. And then it feels like they just tickle you to death. But yeah, this game I played the absolute hell out of as a little girl. Just like, oh darn, hadn't quite been attaching there. It kind of gives me vibes of, like, I don't know, Critters to some degree. Just, we have this infestation of creatures whose eggs we can destroy. It's got some fairly decent, like, dynamics to it. Ice blocks are your friend and weapon, but also, you know, they're where the enemy comes from, and they can just, like, chew right through them, so you can, like, wait in ambush, but, like, if you let them get too close, they'll just, like, destroy the bigger button push, and then what are you gonna do? It also amuses me how you just kind of, like, headbutt the ones that are to the north. Your head deforms instead of just, like, extending your arms upward like you'd expect. And the weird little, like, cracking, like, embryo is just vaguely distressing. That little bonus screen is, like, so weirdly formal. There's also the aspect of, like, you know, if you pay attention at the start, you know where all the eggs are, and you can start planning your route in that opening couple seconds. Thought so. This is nice little tense moments like that. It's got a little of that same, like, laggy input time as Pac-Man, where you're just like, you are on this grid. And there's no, like, smooth Zelda-y transition time. You just are on the grid. Too soon. And of course, getting the bonuses, like a little bit of a brick push puzzle. Laggy for a second there. Horrible thing to say. You can take advantage of the fact that they don't want to kill their own children. And therefore, those ones are safe. Never really coming back in the day, like, just what a, like, inherently evil character you are here, though. Also interesting when you, like, suspect one's gonna hatch and you're about to push it. It's like, can I just shove this away from me? Okay, just going until I get a game over here. Yeah, why is it red and green? That is strange. Well, I guess you're, like, stuck with a black background. It's like a technical limit of the system. Or, I mean, not a hard limit, because River Raid has, like, a full, actual, proper background, but... Their AI isn't terrible. At picking the worst possible approach to get to you. Or at least convenient for you, I should say. And Lowell needs to, like, take a moment to double check that it's done, I guess. Nice color palettes in this, too, like... very, like, delicious candy-colored enemies here. Oh, that sucked. Okay, moving on. Yeah, like, I like this one, and I feel like this is another one that, like, the basic gameplay could be adapted into something interesting for my own personal, like, arcade-inspired thing. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh, well, here's one that I remember owning, not for very long, and then one of my cats peed on the cartridge, which would have been a very fixable thing, but at the time I just assumed it was ruined forever. So this is Blueprint. Not a well-remembered game, and you're about to find out why. So, here's our basic setup. We got the blueprint. We've got a monster chasing some woman around at the top of the screen. And also knocking over flower pots that turn into horrible monsters. We are wandering into these houses, hoping to find pieces to bring to our blueprint and build some kind of contraption by just, like, walking over where they go. If there is not a piece, because you've already collected it, or it's just one of the few that just doesn't have one, there is instead a bomb, and you have to take the bomb to the bomb disposal pit before it explodes. Also, over time, like, monsters come out of the pit and are very a lot and look like McDonald's Fry Guys. There's a run button, but you have, like, limited endurance. Oh, that worked out. The monster at the top will eventually catch the woman that it is pursuing, and that will be a loss of life. So it's kind of a timer on the whole level, which is not very long. Then you got this little jaunty tune. And I'd be sucking much more at this if I hadn't, like, used this to test the emulator. Would you shut up, please? No? Oh, okay. Victim of monster caught, apparently. So which ones haven't I checked yet? Yeah, once I finish, there's a whole second phase to things that changes up the gameplay. This was just kind of like, this is not a good game, but it's one that like got away from me as a child, you know? Okay, which one house have I not been in? I thought I checked them all at this point, but apparently one of those ones. You can only do one at a time, of course, because you have one inventory slot and it's probably gonna have a bomb in it. And the limited stamina, you have a lot of it, honestly. Aha! I'm missing one leg of the device. But yeah, this feels like an inherently unfair design. Did I not check top left? Okay. No, I did. Aha! I will get through at least a level then. And now I have my basketball launching contraption, which fires at kind of a random angle, frankly. Some just don't go anywhere, and I just kind of have to basically get lucky. And then we continue with pallet swap, as is the style of the time. So ideally you want to like have a like very specific sweep pattern that you go through, like, you know, going clockwise or counterclockwise, but like there are enough things just like causing you to have to reroute. That's not really practical. Like, did I get this one here? I didn't remember. So just hitting it, double check. And those just like really gun for you. Okay, so I've definitely checked the whole right side now. Feels like a nicer layout than the first level, honestly. I appreciate that the flag is like a necessary component of the device as well. I had no french fries, go away. So again, like, I understand why this isn't a well-remembered game, because it feels a little unfair Oh. Okay, I see. What? Just like... I guess I just like let it wander off before I get going, huh? Yeah, I feel like, you know... Like, the flower pots especially just are extremely hard to dodge. You just need some extra option, like Burger Time Pepper or something, and then this would really work. Like, very limited usage, but like give me some kind of offensive tool for, like, what do I do here? Like, that was moving too fast for me to, like, dodge past. And, oh yeah, that spawns right on top of me, doesn't it? But still, I appreciate getting a chance to play this again, because it was lost to me for so many years. Let's see, what's next? Oh, yeah, that's a good one. And again, this is a game that would not have worked on the 2600 at all. But pretty well handled port here. Anyway, this is Dig Dug. It is why inflation fetishes are a thing, as far as I can tell. You just, you know, digging around, just trying to kill the creatures of here. You have your fairly long-range little pump here to do that to them, and then they explode in a horrifying fashion. Like a lot of games at the time, the last enemy will just like book it for the corner to escape, not wanting to be killed by your character. If you have the ground thin enough, this will, yeah, fall through like that. You get a lot of bonus points for doing the rock kills. Enemies can just like become ethereal and pass through the walls if they want to, but they don't like to do it. Much like Pac-Man, food appears in the middle. How do I get those two? Oh, thank you. Gotcha. It takes, you know, 3 hits of the pump to take one out. So sometimes you get a bit overwhelmed. You have to just, like, accept that you're just going to stun him for a second and run. You're going to end up in this shaft, aren't you? No. Huh. I feel like the chase at the end lacks something. Because it's kind of just like get to the surface, go to the left, and catch him right there. But yeah, one of the few games that has music and, like, you know, a background shot just like a black field. I mean, technically, behind the dirt is a black field. But this one's actually set up nicely to hit with a rock. And that one's getting away because I can't get up there that fast. And it's funny with how many buttons are on the controller for this system. Like, so many one-button games. And it just gets mad if you stand still too long, which is interesting. Okay, someone looking at this, please. No? Alright, they refire. So the other thing about Dig Dug that's interesting is Namco has this whole official like thing with their characters from games of this era where they're all related to each other in various ways. So The guy from Dig Dug and the girl from Baraduke are married, or were married at one point, and had a kid, and that kid is Mr. Driller, and then they got divorced. This is the official canon. Like, these games have nothing to do with each other, so I don't know why they decided this is the thing, but this is the thing. And they all have names outside of those game titles, and they're weird things like Kaizo Hori, I think, is the main character of Dig Dug. And then the woman from Baraduke is Kissy. Yeah, 300 years after Ace Combat 3. Like, it just... Someone decided on the most bonkers interconnected lore, and I love it. So let's see. I do want to hit everything that I actually definitely owned at the time before just breaking out into the rest of the library. And I definitely had this one. Okay, this is another will this controller work, because we are being very analog with things. And it's wild to me, like an analog joystick was a thing on a system this old. Okay, that's weird. Can you go up? Oh, okay, it's this reversed. Got it. Okay. So this is Star Wars. Oh, right, you don't shoot the TIE fighters, you shoot the little, like, abstract... can you go to the right? No, like, incoming... whatever they are. I think. Or do you do both? So this one, not the greatest port. The original, like, Star Wars arcade game had nice vector graphics. It was one of those, like, sit-down cabinets. I seem to have had, like, some effort at sound design. But, you know, it's a 3D shooter with wireframe polygonal graphics, technically, sort of. And again, like, big flashy screens. Yeah, so I guess the greens TIE fighter are just decorative, and you really just have to deal with these, like, incoming shots, or whatever they are. Again, this one's not the greatest of ports. I feel like there were some problems in, like, deciding how to do things. I have to figure out the tops of these towers, or encourage you anyway. And then kind of dodge past them, I think. So yeah, the actual arcade version was very smooth and, like, you know, vectory, more properly 3D. And here we're trying, doing our best, sort of recreating parts of it. The blue and red for the, like, parts of your X-Wing here are very garish. I do like that when you're at 1 HP, it just says, shield gone, use the force. Like, and it kind of stops when you die. And then it just automatically starts from the top, too. So, yeah, that's Star Wars. The movie was pretty darn good. The arcade game, not bad. This port of it, not so much. That's nice. Yeah, like the Rogue Squadron series are really actually surprisingly good. And was it Blue in the arcade? Okay. It's still a weird choice because like the actual movie, it's very much white and red. Um, but yeah, that's Star Wars. Now let's see, what else do we have here? I find it weird that Mrs. Pac-Man isn't in here. Like, Mrs. Pac-Man isn't in a lot of places, but like, that's because of licensing. And here, I'm just going through an emulator. Ah, here's a legitimate classic. Galaxian. It's like Space Invaders, but better. Oh, okay. Why is that happening? Oh. Okay, I'm just gonna reset because pausing has it just playing the note it's playing infinitely. That's the thing. Do you want a controller? Okay, it's gonna be bad either way then. Got it. Not the best emulator I have here. Okay, keyboard it is. And we're just gonna have to deal with stick drift somehow. It's by not having a stick, which is kind of true to the original 5200 experience, if I'm honest. But yeah, Galaxian is very much Space Invaders, except that they, drop off in waves to shoot you like that. Not being able to hold still, though, like, really makes this way harder than it should be. There was some bonus for, like, hitting the yellow ones without taking out the red ones or something like that. I seem to recall, like, I don't remember the arcade game being as noisy as this is. Yeah, okay, I'm just gonna leave it on this attract mode for I'll talk about this one. So yeah, there were such a direct lineage from Space Invaders as people kind of work out the whole video game thing. This is one of the better early efforts though, because like, okay, yeah, here's the block of enemies, but then they'll break off and move around and shoot at you. It's not just them shooting straight down now and then. We dropped the shields completely. But then this, of course, was followed up by Galaga, which is another very iterative thing. And, like, Galaga's where it really hit the sweet spot. Because you got the whole, like, you get abducted, you can shoot down your abductor, and then, like, your previous life just is a power-up you pick up, and you, like, glue your two ships together, and you have double lasers. That's just neat. But, yeah. That one is not behaving well with this emulator, and I just can't play it. I'm sorry. Oh, this one I played the hell out of back in the day. This one really got some playtime. Oh, I forgot about that music though. Holy cow! Sorry. This is Kangaroo. You're this kangaroo with boxing gloves on, as was the style at the time. There are monkeys. They are jerks. All the sounds keep playing longer than they should. You can jump. You can punch. You can collect fruit. Very simple platformer. That ladder music in particular is so annoying. And if you hit this bell, it repops all the fruit in the level as one's worth more points, or you can just, you know, go in. Reunite with your child who also wears boxing gloves. So I don't remember ever hearing about this in arcades or seeing it. Oh yeah, the jumps are super unforgiving. I forgot about that. And like, you have less room than it looks like you do to land. But yeah, if the sounds of the fruit and the ladders weren't like that, I would appreciate this a lot more. I don't remember the system being such an assault on the ears in general. But yeah, a very Donkey Kong-esque experience, but like, not quite getting it right. The sound design is a big part of the problem. Optimum play is you just kind of like hit the bell and double back and get all the fruit like infinitely to rack up lives in the first level. Because there's no timer or anything. I guess he just like there's I think 3 or 4 levels before it loops. Yeah, I don't know why I play this one so much now that I think about it, but you know, early platform design was a thing. And I'm trying to move away from the ones that are just like really painful to listen to. Oh, speaking of early platform design, though, here's a game from somebody who, like, later made ones that people like a lot. This is Popeye. Oh, that just, like, sends you. So, Popeye is very much of a Pac-Man sort of thing. In that, yeah, you can get the cans of spinach and defeat your otherwise indefeatable foe. And you're collecting things. In this case, you were collecting these hearts. It looked better in arcades. There was, you know, like a little bit more resolution to like have the faces not be just the number 5. That sounds always amused me though. Yeah, aside from the spinach, if you time it just right, you can do this. So I know the actual cartoon Popeye is now in public domain. Yeah, which is impressive because, like, most of the time when that happens, it's like nobody remembers or cares what this is. But, like, Popeye kind of, like, had a comeback recently when people, like, found some old strips of the original comic and it's like, oh, this is, like, weirdly, like, trans-positive somehow for a comic from, like, the 30s. With some, like, gender fluidity from Popeye, and it's like, oh, that's cool. I just remember, like, you know, this very fight over a girl dynamic. But anyway, if I miss one of these hearts, it will drift down to the water and then, like, start drowning, essentially. What I want to do is fill up my building there with them, which is kind of abstract when I say it out loud. I do like that very hoppy stair climbing animation, though. And that, like, screaming pose, I always thought as a little girl was like Popeye, it turns into oatmeal somehow. Then we got some variety of levels here. A little bit. You actually have the music changing up, which is nice, because this one doesn't sound awful. So there's a weird thing with this little platform where you need those little black circles up there to act as brakes. You also just like die when you hit that platform up top. You don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with a lot of things. Just in time on that one. It's a good punch sound. Yeah, the hit timing on those bottles is really sketchy. But yeah, there's a third level where there's like a pirate ship, then it just kind of loops from there. But this was like the first game that Shigeru Miyamoto did. Or second? It was the first thing he wanted to do, and then turned to Donkey Kong, then there was this, but yeah. And yeah, it's sort of passable. Speaking of... Will I be playing Donkey Kong? I will not, because it was not ported to this system. It was on the 2600, it was on the 7200, but not this one. But what is another game from the same developer. And this is the version of this that I grew up with. What a weirdly off model with Mario that is, though. Yeah, good old Mario Brothers, which, again, I feel is honestly kind of missing something. Oops. This one has really sketchy hit detection going on. That is not true that I recall of the arcade version, but like this port, yeah, not the greatest with the hitboxes. They're both like way too large and kind of off center. Oh, the blue and red is something, yeah, but like I don't know, like his face seems off to me. And Luigi, of course, in this version had white overalls, so it was like... I guess Luigi just has a fire flower that he never uses. Everything is awful. This is what Bowser for. Oh. Yeah, Mario Bros. Of course, famous for being like the first game where you can play two-player sort of co-op, but also you can just kind of kill each other. It's very strange that the coins are just like red and green like that. I don't think they have like palette restrictions to deal with there, but I'm fairly sure they were yellow in the arcade. And I think that the hitboxes are just off of it. You can't actually do this in this version. You kind of need those double collections if you're not playing two-player. But yeah, not the greatest port of Mario Brothers, but like it's still a port of Mario Brothers, which is still, you know, very good game. Not quite as good as when they started putting Super after it, but like, you know. We got some good bones here. Another game though in that era of like we have music when you start a game, and then we're just gonna like stop and just have you just deal with weird sound effects. But it's always like fascinating to me, like you had this and then you had Super Mario Brothers, and like wow, what a like massive gulf between the two in just a short amount of time. The fireballs you can destroy if you like hit them as they are like making contact with a platform, with a punch from below. But like, good luck ever doing that consistently. In addition to the shell crawlers, not Koopa Troopas, and whatever the crabs are called, like sidewinders, I think officially. There's flies, which are really awful because they're in contact with the ground for such a short amount of time. And then you hit a point where every level is frozen after like the first 5 or so. And these little ice things that'll like freeze a platform and make the already kind of sloppy movements even worse. Here they are. So you can only hit them when they're like landing. And it's always a little sketchy if they're gonna like bounce off things or not. POWs aren't especially helpful against them. Because again, you gotta have like this exact moment of contact, which I missed there. Gives you some idea of how tight the timing is. And you can like slip off the corners of those platforms sometimes, and you have to just like catch them later. And I feel like the hit detection here is a little off from the arcade. Because again, like, Nintendo didn't work on this version. This is Atari porting it to their own system. And I don't know why it's just the 3 colors, though. It's very strange. Unless it was like a port to one of their computers that they then just put on this, and the said computer had different palette restrictions, that would make sense. Anyway. And then, of course, we have the first, like, proper moving, you know, scrolling platformer that I'm aware of. Which I don't think I actually owned on this, but, where are you? I played the hell out of this in arcades, I know that. Another game that has music and it's good. This one actually probably uses 2 buttons as well. And it's kind of rough, isn't it? I feel like the very chunky pixels don't do this one any favors. But yeah, this, I think, is the first ever side-scrolling platformer. If not, it's close. There's also Pac-Land. Running. Or Pac-Man 2, whichever one of those was first. Pac-Man has such a weird legacy. Oh, right. That happens. Now you have Pac-Man. You don't really have Ms. Pac-Man. That was technically like a fan hack of the original, where somebody just like modified the board. and they kind of folded it in, and again, then like rights issues forever kind of hurt it. Then you had Super Pac-Man with like the keys and the doors, and you had Pac and Pal and Baby Pac-Man, which was like half bad sequel to Pac-Man, half bad pinball table. And then there's the two side scrollers, which are just weird. Although the one with the slingshot, whichever that was of the two, like oddly enjoyable game. And then they made some efforts to move into 3D that I don't think worked very well. And they kind of like laid it on the table for a while. Then they came back with the whole Championship Edition, which is really cool. And oh, what's the name of it? The one where you're being like chased by the kill screen glitch through an infinite maze. It's whatever the level was that happens on. Pac-Man 256 or whatever. And then there's that Shadow of the Labyrinth thing, which is like, what if we made a grim, dark, edgy Metroid Pac-Man? And like, that shouldn't work, but it's like just cute enough that it does somehow. I kind of need to pick that one up at some point. But it's such a weird lack of a proper, clear follow-up for like one of the most popular games ever made. Anyway, what else do we have in here? Let's see. Getting to the point where I'm not recognizing a lot of these. Okay, this I have played a lot of, not on this system, and I'm curious how this is going to work. I'm assuming this is the Star Trek game that we're all familiar with, or everybody who's super old is familiar with. Yeah. Okay, we are... Okay, we're skipping the map screen and just doing the combat, I see. And I do have to use both the map and the like zoomed in view to properly do this, apparently. Is that green thing good? Yes. How is this? For the like hardware we're working on, this isn't bad. The illusion is not ruined for me, you know? What's going blue, blue, blue? Could you stop? Thank you. This is more inspired by the classic Star Trek game we all know and love, or all know and think, that's the thing. Okay, it's, you know, something. But yeah, like, the classic computer game of Star Trek, there's this big galaxy map, and you just kind of, like, kill all Klingons and save these bases. And then when you get into an actual fight, it's kind of more like this. But this streamlines it a little bit. But, like, you know, that's still not a terrible interpretation. I mean, the whole game is a terrible interpretation of Star Trek because it's not that sort of series. But, you know. What else do we have? Oh, of course. Of course. So this game, I remember at the time, had two control schemes. One was using the number pad, and one was this odd system where you hold the joystick in the direction you want to go and then hit a button to jump. I would normally use the number pad to play this, but I don't want to reconfigure this emulator's whole setup, so... This also has options for 2 speeds, and I'm playing it on the faster one because I am not a coward. Okay. So Frogger is one of those games where it's like, this is pretty self-explanatory. Frog want cross road, frog want fuse with woman frog, frog want eat fly, frog want go hole. Everything will kill you. Oops. Including not holding the right direction when you're jumping. That was way too risky. You have a timer at the bottom there. It's very generous. Usually the moment-to-moment timer of like this log is moving really fast is much more of a concern. It does make you listen to that whole jingle. Yeah, doubling back is sometimes the way to go. And if you get girl, frog, or a fly in the hole, you get a bonus. That's basically the game. Yeah, crocodiles will appear in the holes and also in the river. Their mouths are unsafe, but their bodies are fine. Hey, this is a perfectly fine port. Like, the actual frog sprites kind of lack some detail, but like otherwise, you know, this is pretty much the experience. And I'm not really conveying it because I'm playing fairly well, but the hitboxes on those holes at the top are like a lot less forgiving than you'd think. Oh, okay. Did not realize the next set of turtles was going to be the ducking kind. Hoped I could catch the next one. I was wrong. Oh. That's Frogger. Yeah, there's also snakes later. Pretty simple thing. What I did not know until I saw it in the list here, apparently it was a Frogger 2? I am now curious. Oh. Okay. So visually, like, big improvement. There's currents pulling you along. I guess this is the logical way to go with the sequel, yeah. But I have never heard of this game. Never in my life. Okay, so yeah, same basic idea. Just, you know, underwater, drifting along. Interesting. And again, this looks pretty good for a pre-NES system. Could you loop? Could you loop faster? too, yeah. Turtles no longer friendly platforms. Also, this is a lot of, like, life for, one assumes, a small pond somewhere. Hey, can I, like, have a place to go? These logs all seem full. Like, what am I supposed to do at this point? I can't double up, can I? Oh, I can. Okay. Weird. Oh. That's a sound. Okay. So, that's Frogger too. That's interesting. I'm gonna move on now. Again, surprised it exists. Okay, what else do we have? I don't think I've played everything I actually had on this. I know Ms. Pac-Man's missing. Oh yeah, these I remember. Sucky tennis and sucky football. This isn't that bad as far as a tennis game goes, but like, it bugs me with every sports game. Like, aside from not being, you know, super excited about the sports they're based on, like, someone decided this is how the video game version of this is going to work in, like, you know, the early 80s, and nobody has ever, like, questioned that for any of them. Every tennis game is this. Every baseball game is, you know, Family Stadium. Every golf game is Nintendo's Golf. Like, never any questioning of any of it. And I guess I can't think of much you could do with tennis to mix it up, but like, you can try. Try a different perspective. You could, you know, do something besides just follow the ball's shadow and hit a button. Oops. It's also one of those ones where it's like, probably fine with 2 people or 4 people. I think it even supports, but like, oh, you're serving now. Okay, yeah, and just for thoroughness' sake, I did for some reason have this one. This I know made like serious use of the numpad for putting in plays, which here I don't know. Oh, is this defaulting to 2-player? Well, meh. I never liked this back in the day. I just had it and was bewildered. But yeah, it's every football game. Just gonna move along. So let's see. I think, yeah, that may have been, aside from Ms. Pac-Man, everything I had on this. But there are some other things on here that I recognize. Oh wait, no, I skipped one. I skipped an important one. Good old Cubert. Okay, the house's control. Okay, we're not doing the isometric thing of like tilting it. I have to hold a diagonal. Got it. So Cubert is one of those games that like I feel like everybody has at least a passing familiarity with Cubert. I'm not sure if anybody likes it. The arcade cabinet had a really cool gimmick where there was like a door knocker in the bottom of the cabinet. So when you would die, it would like wait however many seconds, and then like there'd be this actual like thunk sound on the bottom of the wood from a hammer hitting it, and that's just neat and cute. But yeah, for the early levels here, you just have to hop on every square of the pyramid to change them to a different color. And that's pretty simple. Then after a few... It mixes up by having to hit them like more than once to cycle through a couple colors. And then later, there's like 3 colors they will cycle between as you jump on them. So you have to find a pattern where you aren't hitting the same ones and changing them back. This always confused me playing this version of this because it doesn't really have the graphical fidelity, but like different enemies have different orientations of gravity. So you'll see things hopping around on like the gray sides and the checkered sides here. Oh, and then there's this little jerk. And of course, Cubert squares when dying. Which is really relatable for all of us. The boom boom broccoli sound. I believe is indicating extra life. So here again, like the actual sprite for Cubert kind of sucks, and for everything else too, because they're just these single color things. But like you can tell what everything is. We're shading the pyramid properly. That's something. Yeah, that little horrible green guy you can catch and just end his reign of terror like that. Yeah, so now I'm at the point where I have to double bounce them. You're not even doing damage. I haven't touched those yet. The snake will like reliably pursue you off those if you don't give him like an absurdly long lead time. Nope. But yeah, the point when they start like changing back to the first color, if you jump on them once they're on the good one, that's when it gets just like I don't have time to do a logic puzzle while dodging all these things. But yeah, like it's a decent port of Cubert, I guess. It's visually a little but like relatively solid. And let's see. Okay, this I remember not playing on this, but playing on the Sega Master System. This is Montezuma's Revenge, which just started, straight up. The unfortunately titled Montezuma's Revenge, like it's to what a reference is diarrhea. Okay. But yeah, you have a 5-slot inventory. Most of those slots are going to be taken by keys, which are like single use for a certain color of door. You will want to carry around more than 5 keys. Oh. And again, like sloppy platform edges, that's like a big issue with games of this sort of vintage. I don't know why that was such a hard thing for people to deal with. But yeah, big open mazy okay, that is a bunch of keys. Oops. But yeah, that what's it called? Barbuda remind me a lot of this in UFO 50. Well, that's when I like went back and played some more, and it gets really interesting when you realize that like there are very, very subtle, like 1 pixel off differences in a lot of tiles, which indicate secrets, and you just like find items just exploring in that fashion. Oh, that was just rude. So was that. Also, is this randomizing the layout? Because I think I game overed and didn't realize. Because this just has no interest in having, like, a title screen to it. And yeah, I don't think it's the most faithful part of this either. But games of this nature were a thing. It's also like the sort of thing that inspired La Mulana, which is an excellent game that I will probably never like play all the way through. Yeah, that's that. Very, like, well, like, the normal version is a fixed layout, and you would map it out over several playthroughs. Here, it seems to, like, randomize it, so just, like, bad platformer controls platforming challenges, I guess, which it's certainly a way to go. And since this is such a small library, let's see what's left to actually look at. Okay, here's one that I have never played, but another games writing person I've known for forever, Jen Frank, was traumatized by this in her youth, so, like, I gotta see what's up. Controls? Okay, this one I might also need to use the joystick for. Oh wait, no, is it just demoing? I assume we're just demoing, because I'm not hitting anything. Okay, yes. Anyway, this is Mountain King. Okay. Again, I've never played this. I don't have the manual. I know it plays that next version of Night Above Mountain at the start while you dance around. And I guess you're collecting, like, gold glitter. And you have a flashlight. Okay. It's a little Lode Runner-ish. There's like 4 grids. Only see if you have your flashlight on. That's interesting. Or background. Objects of some nature. Okay, holy cow, that spider is actually quite terrifying. Look at it. It's just so well animated, and then just like, holy cow! I can see why it would get so many nightmares as a child. Wow, wow, that was weirdly intense. I get it. Holy cow, that's rad. Oh, we're doing up the jump, okay. So I'm not sure what my goal is. Possibly collect all of the... Let's say gold, for lack of a better answer. Or a certain amount of it, perhaps. How do I escape? And then I'm just like in hell. Let's try it again. Yeah, I am fascinated by this one. Like this is like legit creepypasta material. I was playing this old Atari game, and then this like super well animated spider came out and tied me up in a web, and I couldn't get out, and then it came back and ate me, and then the screen just went all red, and I was just standing there staring and had to reset the system, and then I guess I died or whatever. And the sound it makes too is Oops. Oh, I hit some things I should not have hit there. That is not a button, that is a button. Okay, there we go. I just like hit Alt or something, and then yeah, just this is just the death screen. And like, holy cow! One more time. I don't know what you're supposed to do about the spider. Like, it feels like you'd be able to escape from that, or like, stun it, or get away in some fashion, but, like... Okay, so there's a crown. I'm assuming that's my goal. Just need to get back up somehow. And then it slowly eats you from... Oh, wow! This is a game right here. This is really something special. I have no idea how to not just be slowly eaten by a spider and be in hell. That's Mountain King. Neat. What else do we have here? Let's see. Oh, well, that's a game I actually owned. A passable port of pole position, if I recall. Okay, I can shift gears up and down. It's not a bad sound for... And yeah, like, you know, this is more what you think when you hear Atari graphics, certainly, but like... The background's nice, the little edges of the road are going by nicely. That's a good explosion. My car is kind of an abstract collection of lines, but you know. Your hood looks nice. Also, whenever I think of pole position, the two things I think about now are the really amazing commercial this version of this game had. Just look up pole position commercial sometime if you've never seen it. It's wonderful. And then also, there was for some reason like a cartoon based on it. Or that was just qualifying. Which was just kind of like what if Speed Racer really sucked, basically. But the theme song was good. Really, really catchy one. Yeah, that's the way of putting it. Yeah, the tagline, especially of the commercial, was very 90s by being a very, very 80s commercial, technically. Like leaving skid marks on your soul or whatever it was. Well, I took them with me. It is kind of weird that like it's a fake race though, because after you qualify, you start off from your lineup with like 8 cars or so, but then you pass significantly more cars than that, and ultimately you're just racing against the clock. But yeah, pole position. Not a terrible racing game for the time. It's certainly no Mario Kart, but it's something. And now we're getting into what even is this? I have never heard of Ball Blazer, but we're taking a look at it. Good music. Okay, we got 3D. Got a grid with nice bouncy walls. I'm assuming this is still the title screen. Okay, here we go. What is my goal? Are we playing some kind of sport? Am I trying to get 5 points before the second player who doesn't have a controller plugged in? Like, this is an impressive tech demo, if nothing else, but, like, what am I trying to do? Okay. It's like first-person air hockey, I guess? I just mash my face into this ball, or I collect it, and then I can... Okay, yeah. So where'd the goal go? Oh, is this the first LucasArts game? Okay. Or I guess Lucasfilm at the time. Yeah, not bad first effort, honestly. That opening theme song was like legitimately really good. I could see this being something two-player. Some major kickback when you launch the ball. Okay. Not quite sure the time I'm getting through there, but... The goalposts seem to flicker a bit, which is kind of annoying. And there's player 2 just like in the corner. I can use as a selfie cam, I suppose, if I wasn't on lower, putting it teleport around randomly or something. Okay. Was it to 10? I don't want to go to 10 points. That's too many points. And it seems to like get a narrower goal the more points you have too. Is a like comeback mechanic. But you know, like as a proof of concept, whatever. Okay, there's also a timer. Okay, then we're back to this rad intro song. That's pretty alright. Yeah, this rescue infectables, okay. But that runs pretty well on this hardware too, for a game of that nature. Now let's see, I skipped Astro Chase, which, oh. We have an intro. Yeah, this era of just like what classical music can we actually get in here? Let's just play at the start. It was definitely a thing. Even like Mario Brothers just had like a little Mozart bit. I feel like that's like a really good cutoff. Is like, at what point do we start like composing music for games? Because they got much better then. Okay, what am I trying to reach here? I can shoot. Sometimes I can shoot with like ammo first. And everything explodes. Yeah. Okay, that's the thing. I don't have the energy to like learn new games that aren't immediately obvious right now. But I will look around. So here, for instance, Beam Rider. What is the deal here, I suppose? Yep. There's also like the era when like Atari, despite the name being very Japanese, was an American company. So like Western game devs on this Okay. So this is like, what if Tempest was flat? And also bad? That's the impression I'm getting. Oh. Was that a thing to pick up? Okay, got it. So, I mean, I appreciate the vibes, but like otherwise this seems to just suck. Please don't do that. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. This one needs a lot of work. I'm not impressed on a technical or gameplay level. Yeah, wireframes were in at the time. Oh, here's an actual known game. Who doesn't like Berserk? On a system that can't do the voicing. Which is kind of the main appeal. Oh! Well, that's more like it. So you're not allowed to touch the walls, apparently.
Intruder alert, intruder alert. The humanoid must not escape. Stop the humanoid, stop the intruder. Stop the humanoid, stop the intruder.
Yeah, that's Berserk, alright. Got the good voice lines, you got trying to do a twin stick game with one stick. In unforgiving circumstances. Let's see, what else do we have? Some kind of Buck Rogers game from Sega. Ooh, okay. Okay. Yeah, we're trying the like forward scrolling shooter thing, which all 3D style. Or I guess slaloming at the moment. So much flashing here. I'm assuming eventually there'll be like enemies. There's some. But again, if you look at the people who are all about like, oh, the X console generation, like this and the 2600 with its just like dots and lines, abstract visuals, oh, that's the same generation. Like, what the hell? So I feel like this is gonna like give people eye problems if they don't have an issue there. because this is a very, very flickery, awful thing, and kind of a slow-paced game. What else do we have? I have never heard of Bounty Bob Strikes Back. Are we gonna like slowly form some text here? There's gonna be some credits. I think I see a buy coming. Okay, I want to solve the puzzle. Programmed by... Okay, let's actually hit start. Oh, this feels super British. I'm sorry if that sounds like an insult. I'm not gonna pretend it isn't. Ah, falling damage. Okay. Yeah, that kind of was a Superman theme, wasn't it? Okay, so the gun does not let me shoot things, it lets me step on things. Okay. That's what that is. Does make me appreciate the library that I had for this personally. Okay, there's a version of Choplifter. I'm not going to play that because I have played enough Choplifter in my life and never enjoyed it. But here's Congo Bongo, or some interpretation of it. This, I believe, was isometric in arcades. We're kind of doing music. Congo Bongo, of course, is like Sega's weirdly ambitious we have Donkey Kong at home. And yeah, this is not this is more what you would think when you hear Atari port, but like a lot of these games have been like pretty faithful to the arcades. This is not one of them. This is really not one of them. Yeah, that is not a good perspective. What else we got? Countermeasure, you say? So like earlier in the night, you know, some of these had like decent graphics for the time. Earlier in the night, when it wasn't now. Ah, okay. Tank game, got it. Oh, okay, I got rotate and shoot as buttons. Got it. Okay, explosions stick around and hurt, kind of, or are texturally unpleasant. I got lousy range on this thing. Okay, I get the idea. A lot of this feels like late in life shovelware or early in life demos. What's the dreadnought factor, I wonder? Are we trying for 3D again? Looks like. Oh, we're doing a full-on... Okay. A full-on pre-NES, yeah, forward-scrolling shooter. Okay. This looks pretty good for... what we had to work with. If you want to like start shooting back at me or something, feel free. Oh, yeah, bombs, okay. No, this feels very tech demo. Take another pass? Okay, I missed some targets because I didn't know that I could do this. Okay. So does this feel like a game where it's a puzzle of like, can you find all the things that can take damage? More than it is like a, you know, getting shot and shooting back thing. Which I'm not gonna say is a good idea, but like a okay. Oh. Once again, things are gonna flash tonight. That's just the thing. Okay, okay. Oh, so pick a number was like how many ships there are total. Okay, so yeah, that was that on easy mode, I guess. Yeah, that's interesting. I am getting pretty deep in the library here at this point, to be fair. Okay, so this is Gorf. Is a fun name. I'm getting to dread that CBS Electronics logo, though, or name. Okay. And also ran Space Invaders clone. Got it. One of the ones that's really wanting analog controls. I don't care, because, I don't need Space Invaders, but worse in my life. I don't even need Space Invaders at this point. Okay, that's what this is about. they have a sword? Why do I have a sword? Ah, okay, it's a cage. Okay, I think I got the idea. Although, I once again ask, why do I have a sword? Cool, skeleton. Okay. Gameplay comprehended. But why do I have a sword? Am I just forgetting the scene in Gremlins with the sword? I mean, it feels very clearly to be a sword. I'm swinging it around. Oh, was it a chainsaw? I think that was a thing, wasn't it? The end? For like 5 seconds? Weird. But that's, you know, something. Okay, so, moving on. Yeah, I'm just like rapid firing these, I realize, but like, I don't want to be here all night. Okay, Gyrus. Okay, now this is Tempest. Like, this looks pretty good. Like, again, the resolution's a little low. But yeah, we got just, you know, a Tempest clone sort of thing with, you know, halfway decent looking graphics for the resolution. Cool music. Weird controls where I'm just kind of like pointing at where I want to be rather than like, you know, turn left and turn right. Yeah, I actually being like way into this if I had at the time. I kind of want to see the like actual arcade version of this now. In fact, I am not familiar. Yeah, aside from the resolution being a little too low, that was like solid. Okay. Oh no, I'm not playing this one. No, I'm familiar with this game. No, it does not. No. No hero for me. I don't want to manage fuel and look around in a cave. I will play the video adaptation of Dimes Are Forever, apparently. Which Why is James Bond Moon Patrol? Why is James Bond Moon Patrol? Why is James Bond Moon Patrol but like weird controls? Okay, so button 1 shoots upward and then drops a bomb, alternating. Button 2 does nothing. Up is jump. Got it. I don't feel like we're making the best use of our license here. Or this is worth playing. So I love that this emulator menu says attach cartridge. It's such a weird way of putting that. Okay, let's see. Jumping down to the bottom of the alphabet. What's Zone Ranger all about? Shooting stuff in space, like most games of the era. Okay. Oh, was that like debris? Did I not touch that? Oh, this. Is that okay? It's like working part of the level. Got it. It's such a sinister looking ship here. Okay, now I've got like a lot of momentum. And can't shoot. Oh, okay. These aren't deadly to bounce off of. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna move on now. Zenji, eh? Sounds puzzly. Okay. Was there not a control thing that I missed? Let me reset that and wait longer. Okay. Got it. Okay, so, like that. Nice. Okay. Um. Okay. So yeah, so a puzzle game. Got it. Uh. Okay, I get the idea. I don't feel like this is well thought out though, as far as having enemies in there. Let's see, what else do we still have here? So many games, and there's like Zaxxon. They all kind of blend together. Oh, right, this one. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, this is one of the better known games that suck. Ever playing this in arcades, I just... It never worked for me. And still doesn't here. Like, I get what they're trying for with that unique perspective and the, like, you know, verticality of it, but, like, there's a lot wrong with Zaxxon. So let's see what Wizards of War is. My ears. Where's my character? It's not a button. Okay, there's my character. That's just that. Yeah, my controls don't seem to be working, is the thing. But, okay. I don't want to listen to that startup sound again. That was really awful. I will move on, happily, to Vanguard. Oh no. Please, people, like... Is that the next generation theme? No. That's a lot of visibility. Very much I can't shoot. Interesting choice. very shrill. Oh. I guess it's warm. Yeah, that was gonna wear out. Okay. I get the premise. It is hurting my ears, so moving along. Yeah, again, like I feel proud of the library games I had as a kid because I think everything I played early on was fairly decent, and we're getting to the bad stuff now as I just fill out the rest of the library here. Ah, yes, this one. And a lot of these really feel like here's just like games for other like Atari computers that were just kind of like given a hasty port over without any sort of graphical improvements. Because you have like Rivery, which is actually pretty nice looking, and then like here's all these. We have 3 colors, and they're all kind of ugly, sort of things hiding out. Oh, there was a Return of the Jedi game, also apparently. I was not aware. Oh, is it the 90s? Is it time for clacks? What are we doing here? Ah, we're waiting for a hole to open up. Okay, I see. Am I gonna shoot through the Death Star? So the rare Return of the Jedi game is like, you know, this is all about Lando. And we are certainly having an auditory experience with this one too, aren't we? It's like that one part of the Tron game. But kind of really bad. Oh, I see. There's a little green thing that shoots the laser. Not the big red glowing thing that is where it come from. That's... Oh, and if I shoot too fast, my previous shot disappears. Okay, so it's not that I have maximum range instead of hitting the button too fast. Okay. I feel like I figured out the gist of that one. What a soundscape is a good way of putting it, yes. So many of these just, like, really hard on the ears. Oh, and here we have a 3D fight sim again. Take that, bowling ball. Cool. Always wanted Captain the Garbage Cow. So that was a very, very quick look at Star Raiders, I believe. Then we have something called Space Dungeon. Which, oh. Oh, am I supposed to have twin sticks for this? I think I am. And it's just like stuck on and firing in that direction? Okay. So this is one of those like use the first and second player controller games, I guess? And I'm just gonna be firing constantly, which is a horrible noise again. Seems okay other than that though. Just need an actual second controller, and I'm not fighting an emulator for that. So I'm not done. There's a couple other games I haven't gotten to, but I'm kind of also burning out on this. So just maybe one or two more that are like not sketchy titles. Like here's an actual game. Good old Pitfall. Oops. I done Pitfall. There we go. Let's get off the vine now. Down, apparently. And that's what she remembers. She doesn't like Pitfall very much. Now, on the other hand, we've also got one of those rare sequels on this system. Pitfall 2. Now with music and a monkey just like really getting down. The walk of shame is interesting. You can really see the like the direct line from this to A Boy and His Blob. David Crane's weird cave diving obsession, apparently. Well, it really is a direct line, isn't it? Wow. Was that a checkpoint? Awesome music, you've officially overstayed your welcome. Okay, yeah, I get the idea. So the main thing we're learning tonight is that the Atari 2200 made some awful noises, like all the time. This is Mr. Dew's Castle. And, it does not seem to be compatible with the simulator. Okay. This is not Mr. Dew's Castle, then. So this is Kaboom, I suppose. Which, okay, we're using this controller for this. Let me set that back up. Okay. Alright, is this like a game where you catch bombs in a barrel of water? For some reason? And it plays each control order, I think? Okay, misses a note. And once again, like this is expecting you to have one of those like rotator pads because I do not have the speed to get to some of those. Okay. Is there anything else of note? I think I skipped one or two because I'm just skipping around, but that's roughly. Wait, what is Pam Salt? What the hell is Pam Salt? Press what now? Oh, this is some kind of test software. Okay. Why is it called Pam Salt? That would fodder. Not actually a game, then. Oh, okay. I missed one important game. The other early LucasArts thing. And we are once again in one of these complicated space sims. Yeah, I think we're getting a taste of some good Horizon. Yeah. This looks very like, hey, oh, wow, wow. This is some like proper 3D terrain here. Holy cow. Yeah, it's weird how like LucasArts wanted to make games, but not Star Wars games. But then they would make Star Wars games, but they just like farm out to other people who made much worse games. Like I don't know. It's like I want a Fall Guy if we're making some kind of Star Wars game. Like we're gonna leave those for you know other people to work on. This is actually really impressive. Like, doesn't look like much, but like, is really pushing the hardware at the time with a proper 3D experience. So this didn't fly as a Star Wars game, but then, like, you know, that Return of the Jedi thing I was playing earlier, that was fine, apparently. Go figure. Yeah, this feels very, very tech demo, but like very impressive, honestly, for the hardware on here. Speaking of, like, my main point is, oh dear, there was definitely this period, right, where like early, like truly early consoles, like the Atari 2600, like could vaguely simulate the experience of playing an arcade game with really abstract visuals. The NES had, like, you know, nice looking games on it. This is like this in between step that nobody ever really talks about, where like people who, you know, put in the effort could get a decent looking game out of the system. It can handle a bit of complexity, but like not quite that buttery smooth SNES goodness, you know, just like. We can basically play Pac-Man, yeah, it's fine. Just don't worry about the ghosts not looking quite right. And a lot of the extended library here, again, is, I think, ports from other Atari systems at the time, because they had, like, a really confusing naming scheme for various computers and consoles going on. Like, I think the Atari 800 computer was a peer of this and more capable, so who knows what the number's even for? Anyway. Super neat. And one last pass through here. Okay, there are some things, and just full disclosure, I am seeing and just not wanting to open up. Like Space Invaders, we don't need to see Space Invaders. Soccer, baseball, no. Quest for Quintana Roo. Okay, I guess I can't say no to that. Okay. Oh, okay. Not what I expected from the title. Go up? Go upstairs? No? Oh, I have like a hold this to move vertically thing. What is this control scheme? Do I need? No. Well, this seems maybe interesting, but like, yeah, Oh no. Okay, don't get poisoned or else horrible sounds happen. Got it. Okay, maybe interesting, but like I can't make heads or tails of it. Mr. Juice Castle didn't work. Oh, Miner 2049er, that's a game. Super ugly game, but it's a game. Could we not? Okay, it's City Connection. Got it. City victims with horrible fall damage. Got it. And I guess these are just like points. Just moved by that vintage here. No, don't make that noise at me. I'm turning this car around. Yeah. Okay, I showed off Mario Brothers. Yeah, the few Ks, I'm just not feeling it. Let me play one of these, and then I might be done. It is very early for one of my streams to be ending, but like, there's only so many games on this system. And I am well past the ones I actually owned back in the day. This is aggressively British. I seem to be playing the fuzz. Presumably I need to... Ah. There's a time limit. I feel like I'm missing an essential element to this game. Okay, that was victory, I guess. So just like book it to escalators to catch some escaped criminal, I guess, and savagely beat him with my nightstick, I guess. And yes, this is live. Hello. I don't know if that was treasure or some kind of obstacle. What a strange design for a game. Just very, very, very rudimentary platformer, and just yeah, and then like no like victory or animation of I guess beating him to death. We just start the next level, and you can only tell because the level indicator went up by 1. And okay, we're dealing with shopping carts now too, but like I'm just doing this like Terminator run to just like catch some guy in straight pajamas and beat him to death. Apparently, just okay. It's premise, sure. Yeah, like I'm assuming treasure is good. Or maybe those are, I don't know. Like sparking something? But like the level layout doesn't really change. Okay, you know if you hit something you shouldn't hit then, yes. Well, the red balls seem to just like slow me down, and so do the shopping carts, but the airplanes, no, those will kill you, okay. I don't know if there's an elevator or what. It never seems to be there when I'm around and don't feel like waiting for it. Rude. I gotta like double check if there was an track mode on this one explaining the premise. No. Gary Kitchens, who is a fake name too. So that's Keystone Capers, I guess. That's certainly a thing. Okay, let's see. Did Berserk, did Blueprint. Because I think this is actually legitimately maybe the last one. K-Razy Shootout. Which is also Berserk. Okay. Oh, those explosions hurt, apparently. Well, that's a good little animation there when you lose a life and like one of your lives just falls over and dies. Was that touching the wall that killed you that time? And then there's stomach bloats, apparently. Like, certainly a detail to include. This wants to be Twin Stick Shooter so bad. Oh, right. You can't touch the explosions. Well, that was a cool sound. Okay. Okay, so missile commander will apply. So I guess, okay, what is the deal there? Like, I can choose to leave the level early if I want to, just if I'm feeling overwhelmed? And then I have to like go back in and finish the job? Also, this is definitely like my first time trying to animate a video game character. This 2-frame animation cycle that plays way too fast. I don't know, literal stick figure. How do I leave? Okay. Yeah, there's like such a like gulf between this and like River Raid. Interesting, because like you might have noticed like All of these copyright dates are like 1983, 1984. Not a lot of life in this one. I think the 2600 was still making sales long after they gave up on this one. But again, for, you know, a good, like, year or two when I was very young, this was the system that I had. Yeah, the bloated corpse thing is such a weird thing to add in there. Like, it's very that one enemy in Monster Party. But, one last double check that I didn't miss anything. Oh, wait, I did. Two things, even. We've got Megamania and Meteorites. And then I'm free of this hell, having played every 5200 game. All, like, what, 30? Oh, okay. So the Enterprise is shooting hamburgers. That very much captures video games at a certain time, doesn't it? Oh, I can steer the shots. Interesting. That was a thing in a lot of old arcade games where they would just like it makes sense if I'm moving to the left and I shoot that you shoot to the left, but I can like turn and it'll turn too. Okay, so this is yet another Space Invaders clone. Just what is our theming? What are we even shooting now? We're trying to shoot. Are these Oreos? Are these books? What are these supposed to look like? Like, it's not like it's unclear visually. It's just like it's unclear conceptually, you know? Okay, that's a look at that. I don't want to burn those lights out. That's taking forever. I'm guessing Meteorite is going to be a blatant Asteroids clone, because the title certainly suggests it. Who would have guessed? You gonna respawn me anytime soon? Okay. Ooh, blatant asteroids clone with bad hit detection. It's the best kind of asteroids clone. So yeah, aside from a couple other sports games, because I just don't want to sit here and play just like the worst version of soccer. That's the library of the Atari 3200. It's a forgotten system, but like, you know, a couple of these are okay. It had decent ports of a lot of arcade games that were contemporary. And yeah. Well, I mean, the UFOs were bonus points, and you're presumably also worth bonus points, so it's just going to happen. But yeah, I think that's that for this little endeavor. It was an interesting trip down memory lane and then into a bunch of just games that I didn't own for good reasons, it turns out, for the most part. But yeah, Atari 3200, just a library of, well, let me actually count here. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Okay, like more like 50 games, which isn't that bad as things go. But yeah, just people who had the original 2600 didn't really want to get a new system for the most part. It wasn't as impressive as the NES, which hit not long after it. There was the Western game crash, roughly around a similar time. So yeah, this one never really gets its time in the sun. And also the controller was just awful. It really was just the most miserable way to play a game you will ever experience. But again, I had this version of Pac-Man. Wait, where was Joust? I know I had Joust on this. This is not a complete wrong collection. Okay. Missing Joust, missing Miss Pac-Man. But yeah, like anything from the single screen era got fairly decent ports to this. Which were enough for me as a very small child who was like either going to the arcade downtown or sitting at home and playing these. And I was in the like early single digit ages, so this was safer. But yeah, that was that. Another set of games I had as a kid growing up. Knocked out. Next week, I think I'm going back to the top of the alphabet for another standard pass.